Call the meeting to order. This is the Planning and Architectural Review Board. Today is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. The time is 5:30 p.m. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have a roll call? Paul McKitka.
Here.
Scott Chapis.
Here.
Susie Johnston. Here. Lisa Smith.
Here.
Do we have a motion for the minutes for January 6th, 2026?
I'll make a motion to pass those. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any old business?
No, ma'am.
All right. 6A, new business. Lupita?
It's located at 1708 South Ocean Shore Boulevard. The parcel is currently vacant and undeveloped land. The applicant is requesting a final site plan approval to construct a 3-story, 8-unit oceanfront vacation rental apartment in the tourist commercial zoning district. The fiscal impact fees are a one-time charge calculated by square footage for new construction and assessed during the permitting process. Staff recommends approval of the final site plan and that the Harbor Board recommends to the City Commission to approve PMS 26002 for Flagler Beach Vacation Rentals. You do have a complete staff report indicating that the final site plan reflects the installation of improvements required in a manner consistent with the standards of the City Code. Mr. Barnhill did come back and forth at the TRC, for parking, lighting, signage, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see by the site plan, he meets the parking lot, the parking requirements, stormwater management is. Did we get the final from St. John's, or it might be approved condition upon St. John's review? Did we get that? I can't remember.
Yeah, we can't. Or maybe speaking in
Better? Okay. Do you need me to repeat anything? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So this is a final site plan application approval for Flagler Beach Vacation Rentals. It's located at 1708 South Ocean Shore Boulevard. The parcel is vacant, undeveloped land. The request is for a final site plan approval to construct a 3-story, 8-unit oceanfront vacation rental apartment building in the tourist commercial zoning district. He's requesting final site plan approval, and staff is recommending approval of the final site plan. The staff report does get into the details that the final site plan reflects the installation of improvements required in a manner that's consistent with the standards of the City Code. The building height is going to be at 34 feet, so we carefully watching the height, and it's on 8,631 square feet of vacant, undeveloped land. It's in the future land use map designation of general commercial and has a zoning district classification of tourist commercial. So this is a permitted use for that. And that concludes my presentation.
Okay. Would the applicant like to come forward?
Tell me about our project. We have a PowerPoint, I guess you can see.
Oh, turn it on. You can hear me. That's a good thing. This will be an expansion of our activity in the vacation rental area. We already own the Flagler Beach Motel and Vacation Rentals, 1820 South Ocean Shore Boulevard. So we have in place a website, a business, experience since 2011, I suppose. So we have ambitions to provide something new, something nice, something affordable. So this is our project. The site of this first PowerPoint is on A1A, 1708, South Ocean Shore Boulevard. There is an alley behind the lot that provides access from the rear, which is required. This elevation shows the color scheme we have in mind. It'd be a yellow building, gray roof, white trim, lots of glass facing east. We have private balconies, we have private sunrooms on the bottom. So, we think it's an attractive building, and we think people will like it very much. The next PowerPoint is another elevation, shows some of the dimensions. Probably the most important one for you is 34.5 feet to the mean roof height. I think the floors are 8'8" between the floor and the ceiling. So it is in the coastal setback zone, so we have to build off of pilings, which is fine. We very much hope we don't need the pilings, but you never know. The next PowerPoint is a floor plan for the ground level. There'd be 2 apartments, one on the north, one on the south end, with a lobby common area in the middle. So these will be fully functioning, 1-bedroom apartments. And the Flagler room will be enclosed. There'll be heating and air conditioning in all spaces on the ground level. The next PowerPoint is the floor plan for the second level, and the third level is very comparable. So we have, a north, middle, and south apartment unit. Again, they're 1-bedroom units. So we do have an elevator. We have a common laundry area on every floor. The balconies on these units and the one on the third level are open air balcony units. So the next PowerPoint would just be a summary of the first part. So we believe we have an attractive 3-story concrete block building, 34.5 feet high, built off of pilings. We have 8 1-bedroom apartments. They range in size from 544 square feet to 638 square feet. They feature great views of the ocean. You have private direct ocean view balconies in Florida rooms ranging in size from 124 to 153 square feet. We have a 2,558 square foot building footprint on the lot. Total living area is about 5,490 square feet. The total area, including the balconies and the Florida rooms, is 7,752 square feet. We have a shared dining lounge lobby area, shared laundry facilities on every floor. It's new. Everything except, the compass hotel is old in Flagler Beach. It's all old, including my place is old. Built a very long time ago. We think it's good for Flagler Beach to have new things that are nicely furnished, they're family oriented, they're more affordable than a lot of places. They are smaller, but we aren't renting a 5-bedroom, house. So it'll be more affordable. It'll be quieter than it will be downtown. So I think it has the potential to appeal to many people. So the next PowerPoint, this is a survey. It's approximately 70 foot wide, 131 feet deep. It's zoned tourist commercial. The layout on the next slide. We have the building. We have 9 parking spots, 10 foot wide, 20 foot long. We have a trash area in the back adjacent to the alleyway. We have in the parking lot. The parking lot will be gravel with pavers that have, like the ones that are right outside here, where the water can sink through. You can make the gravel deep enough and orient water in this direction and store a lot of water. Margaritaville over here did the same thing in their parking lot. So we're confident that there's the capacity to deal with the water that, will be, have to be stored somewhere. In front, we have a patio with an entrance, and then a couple of private patios to the north and the south. So that's our layout. Just a summary of the layout. So 1708 South Ocean Shore Boulevard is zoned tourist commercial. We have a residential house to the south. We have a vacant lot to the north, both zoned tourist commercial.
I'm sorry, if you can just save your comments.
I'm sorry?
Someone was talking in the back, and it was hard for us.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. We have a residential house to the west. It's on a residential lot. 9 10-foot by 20-foot parking spaces. In the rear, access off the alleyway. The garbage containers are set back 5 feet from the alleyway. The lot size is about 9,174 square feet. The impervious part is about 10% of that amount. The building is about 27%, 28% of that amount. We have pervious area on the lot of about 61.5%, sandy soil, many ways to manage the stormwater. So that's the short version of this project, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions at this time from the board? Not at this time, no.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Oh, yep, go ahead.
All right,
Scott?
yeah. What's the classification of this? This is considered a hotel, motel, apartment complex? Is it an Airbnb? How it's operated and run is one thing, but what's it classified as?
The state classifies the other facility we have as transient rental. That's the way they classify it.
Okay.
I mean, it could be called a motel, it could be, but we envision it as vacation rentals. That's what, and those might, be rented nightly, weekly, monthly, seasonally.
So in the permitted use, we have motels, hotels, and resort dwellings and resort condominiums that it could fall under. So it's a permitted use. So what we're looking at is the final site plan, and it meets the criteria for
All right, that kind of leads me into a question. Did you want to finish your question?
Parking meets the requirements, or do we need the parking pool?
No, we don't need
Parking meets the
parking for the car.
requirements?
Parking meets the requirements.
Okay. No, those are the only two things that came up, so.
All right, so my question is, it cannot be a short-term rental unless it's 7 nights or above on weekly rentals. So if you're going to be renting nightly, it takes it out from being classified under a short-term rental per the city's land development code. Because short-term vacation rentals are 7 nights or longer. So with that, it would fall under the classifications of then a motel or a hotel. And does it meet, I'm just be honest, I'm not an architect. I'm trying to see if it meets all those qualifications. Does it meet the qualifications of a hotel or a motel?
Yes,
It does.
it does.
Where is, I know one of the things was a recreational space for a hotel. Where is that on this property?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Well, if it's not going to be a vacation rental, because a vacation rental is classified as 7 nights or above, so it has to fall under the land development code for hotel motel. And that has the requirement of a recreation area. So I was wondering, where is the recreation area for this project?
My view of that would be that there are two areas in front of the hotel where you could easily have, tables that people could sit at. You have a walkway, and then to the north and the south, you have an area that could, in fact, be a recreation area.
Okay. I would have to just ask Drew, because this came up in another applicant. Would that qualify as?
It is a broad term. I would also say, based listening to the presentation, they also have that interior area, which it does, it says exterior recreation.
Right.
You also have that interior space, the common space, which can be used for recreational area.
Okay. All right. Paul?
City planner, are you aware, I know FDOT is looking at Sun Trail through this area. Have you heard of any plans to purchase right-of-way to accommodate that project? I know the applicant is looking at a block wall on the front of this property right on the right-of-way line. So have you heard any, do we anticipate any conflicts there?
Well, I'm not aware of any conflicts with the Sun Trail, but I can certainly look at that, and by the time we get to approval, have an answer for where the Sun Trail, how it impacts, if at all.
Okay. And a masonry wall like that is allowable within the setback?
Yes.
I assume? Yep, okay, thanks.
Is that it? Okay. Let's open this up to public comment. Yep, when you come forward, just state your name and your address, please. And you have 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, I got a lot more questions than that.
My name is Andre Gallet. I live at 1735 South Central Avenue. I got a couple of questions here. Number one is, has a natural resource cultural study been performed on the site? My wife and I have seen turtles on that property. So that's number one. Has any hydraulic studies been done to perform stormwater, the sewer? Are all those, there's a lot of paved area. I saw the pavers, and it needs to be specially designed. I'm a civil engineer, graduated from the University of Florida, been working as a geotechnical engineer for 35 years. Again, has a geotechnical exploration been done on the site? These are questions that need to be evaluated. What's the occupancy of the facility? How many per units? Are we looking at just one person, 2 people? What's the maximum occupancy? You're looking at, I see parking issues. We got 9 parking spots for 8 units. You look at a minimum of 2 person per unit, 2 cars, adults cars. That's 16 cars. You know where they park? On the alley and along the adjacent roads. I know. At my house, the house behind me is a rental house. And I've seen 6, 8 cars there, and where they park, They park along the alley. So we really need to address the parking lot. 9 spaces for an 8-unit facility is not sufficient. Alley, who's responsible for the road, the alley? Is it the city?
You asked the
Yeah,
question,
I'm-
at the end, after all
Okay.
public comment, we address everything.
The alley currently consists of sands. It's highly erodible. It's not confining. It's highly, it ruts all over the place. Is the city planning to pave the road, the alley? Who's going to maintain the road? Again, those are issues. Trash containers. Again, the rental behind my house. They have 5 containers there. Trash is in the alley all the time. These are people that come in for a weekend, a week, and again, I'm picking up the trash. And actually, I want to compliment the city workers, the trash collectors. 2 weeks ago, I saw them walking along the back alley, picking up trash from the heavy winds that we had from that unit. So again, we need to take a look at, who's going to be responsible for that, because these are, it's not the owners that's going to come out there. Front patio. Is that my time?
Yes, that's your time.
Well, I'll pass on the questions.
If anyone else would like to speak, please come forward, state your name and also your address.
My name's Clark Jones. I live at 1710 South Central. And I was looking at just a couple of quick ones. Is there a different requirement for a 2-bedroom unit versus a 1-bedroom unit? When you look at the plans, the north 2 units have a door that can adjoin those. And also the other thing I noticed was in the drawing, the parking spaces are drawn to 9 feet. The verbiage says 10 feet, but I don't know, is that I don't know, I haven't looked at it to scale to see if that's anything there, but just some little details that I think need to be looked at.
Okay.
My name's Mike Archer. I live at 1702 South Central Avenue. I wanted to pick up on where Andre was cut off. Trash is a major issue in the area. The condition of the alley, which is, you call it an alley, but in this particular case, that is the only access road. There are no mailboxes there. People have to go down several blocks to a common mailbox just to get their mail. Amazon trucks have been stuck in that sand. FedEx trucks have been stuck in the sand. People going to their homes have been stuck in the sand. I live where I can see everything. And I watched Rogers Towing coming out there several times in the past couple of years, yanking cars out of the sand. So this is going to be probably a 2-year project, I'd say, to build this thing. We're going to have 2 more years of construction parking, construction disruption, and that's just 2 years worth. Then there's the ongoing trash blowing up and down the alley, which, as Andre said, we pick it up. My wife picks up trash from my house to the highway and up and down a half a block. I pick it up in the other direction. There's people parking at the corner of 17th and A1A to go to the beach. Those people aren't going to be able to park there anymore. You're on the parking committee. I hear nothing about anything. It's always about, we don't have enough parking. Well, there are very few places along South Flagler where you can park to the beach. You can't park on the highways, on the beach side of the highway. So you got to park at the end of the block. And it's also possible on busy days where they're parking all the way back to Central and beyond, parking in the right-of-way. So that's people's yards. This is only going to get worse. Andre made a good point. You got 8 units. I kept hearing they were apartments. I hear it's vacation rentals. No, it's apartments. Well, I don't know what it is. I'm a little confused about what it actually is. But if you have more than 1 car per unit, those cars, those extra cars are gonna be parking out on the street. And Andre, there's no parking in the alley, right? That alley is so narrow, you couldn't even get a garbage truck down there, which goes down there every, 3 times a week. The garbage trucks are going up and down. You couldn't get the garbage truck down there if you tried to park it out any other vehicle. So there's an extremely restricted access. The fire department and police department ought to be extremely concerned about this. I talked to the building department, and they told me, oh no, the fire department will just drag a hose around the block. That's not possible. So there's restricted access to this property for even a single home, and you're talking about 8 homes on one building-sized lot. Thank you.
Do we have any other public comment?
Charles Balasone, I live on 1705 right behind him. My concern is I have a 100-pound propane tank behind my fence where the parking lot's going to be. The alleyway is a mess. There's garbage everywhere. What are they going to do with the alleyway? Are we going to put up some signs? Are we going to pave it? Are we going to, yes, the place looks attractive and all, but my concern is my fence is messed up from the garbage truck already coming up and down the alleyway. Now we're going to deal with 9 people or 9 cars there. If they leave, that's 18 times they're coming back and forth in a day, if it's only once. It's a lot of traffic in that alley. Are they only going to pave it halfway to where these rentals are? And again, is it a rental? Is it a motel? Is it whatever? The rest of the alley, if they come up that way, that's a concern too. They can come in from either side to enter. I am exactly behind it as a residential. And again, I have a propane tank right behind that fence that has been there for 16 years. What's the protection?
Okay. No, unfortunately. Good try, Andre. My name is Lori Hagan. I live at 1702 South Central. And I'm very concerned about this project. It seems very high density for that piece of property. And I appreciate the fact the developer wants to improve Flagler Beach. We do too. We're the residents, we're the taxpayers that live here. Putting a high density commercial use like that on A1A, which is very pinched down in that area. There's a median in the center of the road. So access on and off A1A is going to be difficult. From the backside, the alley, that's like putting a truck on a trail. It doesn't make sense. It's too narrow. It's not developed properly, either the alignment or the surface. This is not well thought out. It's a high-density application in a residential environment. And the trash pickup, I walk all over town every day. I see what happens behind these commercial businesses and around in the neighborhood, a block or 2 in each direction. There's litter blowing everywhere. Now, everybody owns the litter, but the commercial properties need to start there, and they need to pick it up because it's theirs. They're the ones getting the income from it. The residents aren't. So, as a homeowner, a resident, taxpayer in Flagler County, I'd like to see our properties protected, and this is a high-density use that belongs somewhere else. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, my name is Cindy Sear, and I live at 1731 South Central. I'm still confused over the exact classification of this. Is it vacation rental? Is it going to be motel rentals? Is it going to be housing rentals? I don't quite have the understanding of that yet. And then also, we have, it looks like there's going to be building in the setback area. We were all told in that area that you can't put anything in there. And so you have to, there seems to be, though, construction in what sits to be the setback area. And why is that being allowed to be so close to A1A? I think that creates a situation. Is there going to be any entrance from A1A into the facility? Or is it just all through the sand area? And just reinforcing everything that everyone said about the sand area, it is an area, a
a lot of traffic. And is this going to be a pet-free apartment complex where people are going to be walking their dogs? That's an issue, and that would, we've just multiplied the issue by. So those are just some areas that added to the concerns that have already been mentioned. Is there any other public comment? All right. Oh. Took off your hat, maybe we wouldn't recognize you. We will close public comment and bring it back up here to the dais.
Did you want to offer the applicant an opportunity to respond to any of those questions?
Yes.
For you?
Would the applicant like to come forward and respond to any of those questions?
We have a 22-unit facility at 1820 South Ocean Shore. There isn't trash blowing all over the place. If that was the case, I completely agree with your concerns. I mean, that's not going to happen. If we end up having to put a dumpster, closer to the building, and the trash pickup can come and back in and dump the dumpster, we'll work on that. But we're not in the business of trashing the community around us, 100%. The issue of what do you do with the alleyway? I think that's a legitimate question. I mean, I don't know if we have to, do something, or we have to be responsible for doing something to gravel a portion of the alleyway so that it is more stable and people can drive on it more easily. But that's something that I'm sure by the time this group thinks about your comments and the city council thinks about it, there'll be some resolution on how you make the alleyway drivable. So I mean, those would be my, before we get a building permit, I expect that there would have to be some kind of study related to the turtles. I'm sure that's going to be something would be required before you could get a building permit. 100%. I understand that. The drainage, this is sand. You can make the gravel, as the Compass Hotel has suggested, has implemented. You can make the gravel deep, put the pavers that have openings in them, and it's going to absorb a tremendous amount of water. I mean, a good civil engineer can find a way to accommodate the water on this property. We have porous sand that the water is going to go through. So, look, I understand the concerns of having a new project come in. I think we'll be good neighbors. Yeah.
Can I ask a question of you?
Oh.
So your hotel or motel or whatever it is down the road.
Sir.
You have an on-site manager
Sir,
there?
we cannot have dialogue. I know, but we run by Robert's Rules. You had,
Public period was the opportunity for
Yes.
public participation.
How do I do that when this gentleman is?
There is not, I understand, but everybody is communicating to the board. It's the board that's the decision maker. The process is for the benefit of the board. The public period has been closed.
Thank you.
I apologize. We just have an order that we have to adhere to on.
I get it.
Okay. There were some issues that were brought up in public comment. The applicant handled some of the, answered some of them. I know there was some questions about turtles. St. John's Water Management will be handling that the same way if you were having your own residential home built on the same dune. Stormwater, It's included in the packet as well. Building department will handle that. My concerns were trash. I don't see a dumpster. And if it's not going to be an Airbnb like a residential unit, then it has to be built as a commercial building. And a commercial building then requires, per code, an enclosed dumpster area.
I think we do have
I didn't see it.
dumpster.
There's tippy carts, 8 of them back here.
Okay, and those, don't they have to be in an enclosed
And that,
area?
actually, even vacation rentals also are enclosed also, so that applies both to both standards. Because we have a code enforcement case about enclosures at vacation rentals also.
Okay, so that would definitely need to be something that is modified prior to approval.
Does it, are they showing a fence along the property line? Would that count as enclosed?
It could if it's enclosed, as long as it's a full enclosure.
So it has to be completely enclosed with like a door?
Correct.
Okay, all right, yeah, so they don't have that currently.
The questions regarding the alley. I know the alley maintenance is to the city. It did raise some concern having all the traffic coming in and out from a commercial building out of the back alley. I'm trying to think, do we have any, just for my own, to comparison here in the city? Is anyone else using alley access on a commercial building?
I'm not aware, but that's not something that I would pay attention to. Maybe Lupita might be aware of something, but I'm not
Okay.
aware one way or the other.
Well, Mr. Barnhill just volunteered to work with the city for the alleyway.
Okay.
So, we'll take him up on that, no problem. But coming in from the alley is a lot safer than it would be coming off of A1A. So,
Correct.
and, whether it's classified as a hotel, motel, motor inn, lodging, the parking is 1 per bedroom. So there's plenty of parking plus the ADA parking. It meets the code, and Mr. Barnhill went back and forth with the TRC to get the site plan.
Mm-hmm.
Where it is now. So moving forward, if there's going to be a condition, it's going to be cooperation to work with the developer for the alleyway. It is an undeveloped right-of-way, and the city doesn't have any plans to improve.
Okay. And then I'd like to just address for peace of mind the propane tank as well. That would have to be on your own land, bury a propane tank. And
It should be it should be not in the alleyway.
correct.
Or within setback?
Within
Should be
setback.
beyond setback.
It should be in the setback.
It should be in the setback.
It should be,
It's in his full property, not in the setback.
Should not be located in the setback.
should not be located.
Right?
Beyond-
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beyond the setback.
You're right.
A tenant coming home late night drinking, and I've had somebody hit my fence already on the other corner.
Just
Yeah.
so there's an understanding of what the process you're here on. You're here on site plan review. On site
Mhm.
plan review, the board's job is to determine does it meet code. So I know
Okay.
there's a lot of issues that
Right.
are being raised. Not all of those are does it meet code questions.
Okay.
If they're questions, and you can talk about them, you can address them with the applicant.
Mhm.
But ultimately, just so everybody understands what your role is to determine does the site plan meet the code requirements for this site development.
Well, right now, the site plan does meet the code for a hotel or a motel, has all of the checkpoints for it, and it's in the proper zoning. Are there any other questions on the dais?
Lupita, when you mentioned parking, you said per room, that's per bedroom or per unit?
Per bedroom.
Okay. Are the other code requirements also per bedroom? Is, a person in the public brought up the question of some of the units are connected by a common door, so they could be used as a 2-bedroom unit, essentially.
Well, it's
Does that change
one per
anything?
bedroom or sleeping unit. So
Okay.
if the next room is not a sleeping unit, like a suite where you have a little sofa, that doesn't require an additional parking.
Okay.
Okay. Lisa, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. I think, that it's important, their comments are important but they don't affect what we're here to address today. We're here to address whether this project meets our land development code. And in my opinion, for tourist commercial, it does, based on the fact that it's a 70-foot lot. And he's only building a 2,500 square foot building is actually, conservative for what could be built. So in my opinion, all of their concerns are valid. This just perhaps is not the place that those concerns would be addressed.
Where are they addressed?
Also at the city commission meeting. So this is the Planning and Architectural Review Board. So we're actually reviewing the physical plans.
But so will the commission meeting.
And so will the commission.
They're in the same role. They are determining does the site plan meet code. So some of the issues, the land conservation, the turtles, the historical cultural significance, that occurs at building permits. So that's further down the line. At site plan, it is the check boxes for site configuration. Some of the questions, for instance, parking, is there enough parking? That's a code function. Right now, when Lupita says and you say it meets code, that means it meets the code for the parking requirements as they exist today. The city has to apply the parking requirements as they exist today to developments that come in the door. So if there is concern over parking, that becomes a legislative question that to pose to the city commission, not for this application, but moving forward, do we require enough parking? But for an application that comes in, you apply the code as it exists now for that application. And some of those issues may be legislative issues that would apply going forward to future developments, but as to this one, you have to apply the existing code.
Thank you, Drew. Paul?
Speaking of parking, a member of the public mentioned the 9-foot parking width that's shown on the plan. What is the minimum parking size required?
Parking requirements are 10 by 20, and I think that we made those additions to that site plan. So,
Okay. Was there an updated?
Well, and Michelle missed the last TRC meeting, so I may have not gotten her those, but we did catch that, and they are 10 by 20.
Okay. And it still fits with the
Yes.
garbage and everything?
Yes, they do.
Okay. I have no other comments.
Back through the list.
Any other comments?
Oh, and just to address the occupancy, that is handled by the fire department?
Not fire department, by fire code. The
Fire code?
Right.
Okay, so that would be part of the building permit as well?
And they also come to the TRC. They're part of the technical review committee.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval final site plan application PMS 26-0002.
I'll second that.
Paul McKitka,
Yes.
Scott Chapis,
Yes.
Lisa Smith,
Yes.
Chair Johnston. Yes. Do we have any other business? No, ma'am. Lupita?
I do have a city planner report. It's just verbal. I owe you the draft of the mobility draft plan, the assessment. So I'm going to forward you that. I also went to the Northeast Florida Regional Planners Quarterly meeting on Friday, and that's all of the planners that are within the regional council. And first on the list was APA board, planning board, education and outreach. And so there was a lot of the planners that had spoken highly of a planning board workshop that's conducted by the Florida chapter of the American Planning Association. So I'm going to work on a date that's going to fit for the board. I think since we have new board members, I think it would be, and really this was a cue from Lisa to come in and just to provide some board training. part of that board training can be all the new legislation that's also going to be impacting us. I have a list of those bills that are pending. They haven't been, there's maybe not in committee or gone through committee. I don't know about those, but just to put it on your radar. So I'll be forwarding that list as well. We did get our comp plan approved by the state. To my knowledge, we're the only municipality in Northeast Florida that has had their comp plan approved. A lot of the other municipalities and like the counties is sitting on the shelf. It hasn't been approved. So our comp plan is approved. So we don't need an EAR evaluation and appraisal report because it's up to date. Although we do have some mapping requirements now that we've annexed in and you know, have some additional land area. So we'll be updating our maps, and I think the board sees the maps before they get adopted and get officially adopted. So I'll be forwarding the mobility plan. I'll be forwarding you some legislative bills that are pending. There's the state, in my opinion, is, you know, putting their thumb over local government rule, and really it should be local government rule. And that's really, should I have not said that here? Oh, okay. And unless you have questions for me, that's really all I have.
Okay. Any board comments? I only have one. We have a vacant seat on the PAR board. If you would like to join, please see Michelle or Penny, the city clerk, and you can join the board and learn more about the planning and architectural review and land development code for the city of Flagler Beach. That's all I had. Lisa? Anything? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.